Hey everybody, welcome to the GMG review. Today I'm back with the Liber Hereticus Traitor Legions Astartes Army book, and we are looking at the World Eaters. Now, if you thought, the Space Wolves are too subtle for me, I want something really barbarically melee oriented, well, the World Eaters, they might be for you. This might be your legion. If you just want to get stuck in and then stuck in again and then stuck in some more and keep assaulting until everybody is covered in blood and there's chain axes just revving across the battlefield, this is probably your faction. They can still have access to all the other cool stuff a legion can have, tanks and bolters and stuff, but really what you're leaning into here is, you know, a bit of the old ultra-violence. They're led by a, unfortunately, horribly maimed Primarch, the Red Angel himself, Angron, who's been surgically grafted by the people that capture him when he arrives on the planet that he's cast away on. Into a aggression machine. He is in constant agony, and the only relief is anger and violence. And so that turns him into the fallen, broken sort of toy that he is, where he just has to kill and kill and kill to not be suffering at all times. Through the use of the butcher's nails, this like horrifying thing implanted in his head. What's really horrifying is you discover that Dad left it there. He could have taken it out. The Emperor could have fixed him, but it would have left him not useful, and so he just left it in and left him fighting. So with that overview, let's dive in and see what these have going on as a legion. The goal here, of course, is to show you sort of the ins and outs of the rules and what makes them unique, so you can decide if, well, you want to be a gore-soaked berserker basically in the Horus Heresy. So jumping in, the World Eaters keyword gives you Violence Incarnate. On any turn in which a unit with this special rule makes a successful charge, it gains +1 attack for the remainder of that turn in addition to any other bonuses, even if that charge is considered a disordered charge. So you just always get +1 attack, +2. It's kind of like having rage, but you get extra rage. So you're chucking a lot of dice in melee. You get the Butcher's Panoply, it's all your cool equipment, and then World Eaters Berserkers is an upgrade for your consoles and characters. And then Hounds of War, a Warlord can have your Warlord traits. Your special advanced reaction, you can do once per game. The Savage Tide, once per battle in your shooting phase, when you are reacting, you can declare the Savage Tide. You immediately gain the Feel No Pain 5+ special rule against all wounds inflicted as part of that shooting attack that triggered this reaction. If the reacting unit already has a version of it, doesn't replace it or stack, you just pick the best one. And then once the shooting attack is completely resolved, you make a charge targeting the unit that shot you. So don't be too close when you shoot the World Eaters, because you might just find yourself charged during your own turn, and they can't make any reaction to that charge. You just make a charge roll afterwards. So yeah, kind of a more aggressive version of the best defense is a good offense, and a bit like the Space Wolves reaction, although the Space Wolves get to push into you their initiative and then make a charge roll on top of that. So all three legions that can kind of do this thing, I would say that the Space Wolves is best. The World Eaters, you'll survive the shooting more because it's during the shooting phase. And I guess you could advance as part of a movement reaction too to try and get closer. So if someone moved within 12 of you, or you could then make your initiative push with the advance rule, and then when they shot you, if they decide to, charge them afterwards. So it's a bit more reaction intensive for the World Eaters to do it than for the Space Wolves. And of course, kind of worst of all is the Imperial Fist, who have a best defense and good offense version of it. With 1d6 instead of 2d6. So your Warlord trait, Blood Hunger, this one's traitors only. I don't know if you like your legion with a side of cannibalism, that's what you're getting here. So basically, as you descend into demonic possession and stuff like that, your Warlord gains a bonus wound whenever a melee attack it has made causes an enemy model to be removed as a casualty. And that can take you above your starting value to a maximum of 6. In addition, a Warlord with this trait and any unit they've joined must declare a charge in the assault phase at someone within 12, and must always be the closest target. You get an additional reaction in the movement phase as well as if you haven't been removed as a casualty. Then Cloaked in Blood. Any model that doesn't have the World Eaters keyword must reduce their leadership by -2 if they're locked in combat with this Warlord or any unit that includes this Warlord. So you're going to run guys down easier because you're just a freak covered in blood and no one wants to be near you. This is an addition, and so you get an additional reaction in the movement phase as long as you've not been removed as a casualty. And then finally, the Butcher's Claws. When a ward with this trait and all models with the World Eaters special rule and a unit they've joined gain a bonus attack from Violence Incarnate, you also get +1 strength for the rest of that turn. In addition, an army whose warlord has this trait makes additional reaction in the assault phase. So 2 movement phase reactions, 1 assault phase reaction. Get more wounds, -2 leadership, or you get +1 attack and strength when you charge. Then your rights of war, Berserker Assault. It's not to be confused with Weapon X's Berserker Barrage. All units composed entirely of models with the Legions of Astartes World Leader special rule and attachment gain +2 to distance move when they run. So you're getting +6 runs, because you add your initiative normally, getting +6 to your move as opposed to just +4. So nice first turn dash. All units composed of models with the World Leader special rule gain +2 to all charge rolls they need to make. That's handy when you combine that with advanced reactions. And then all units composed entirely of world leaders gain a +1 to their leadership to a maximum of 10 when making pin checks. So basically that headlong rush is easier and harder to stop. Rampager squads can be taken as troops, so basically your super assault squads. And Predator squadrons can be taken as fast attack. Interesting, they add some vehicle support in there for you. So your limitations though, all detachments using this right of war must declare a charge in any of the controlling player's assault phases where there's a model within 12, and must always charge the closest charge or unit if possible, and may not initiate a multiple combat. And you cannot have any allies because you're freaks and no one wants to hang out with you. And then the Crimson Path. Any units composed entirely of models with the infantry unit type and Astartes World Leader special rule ignore the first wound inflicted on them each phase. No save or damage mitigation rules are made for this wound. It's simply discarded and no other special rules triggered because of it. So your first failed save basically just goes away because you're crazy. And then all models with both the independent character and Legion of Astartes World Leader special rule in this attachment using this right of war gain it will not die 5+. While they're outside their own deployment zone. So you can't hang out back at base. You gotta be in the other guy's base killing his dudes. It does not stack with any other version of it, will not die. And then Rampager squads gain the line subtype. So not just be fast, die young, but also hold objectives. Detachments using this right of war must include more models or more units composed of infantry than any other type of unit. Combined, and an attachment using this right of war can only have a single heavy support choice. So, I don't know. Ignore a wound per phase. You can be tough on the way in or fast on the way in, basically, is the two of these. Both of them are going to limit your access to heavy stuff, but being able to take them as fast isn't bad. And then Armory of the World Leaders. So you can upgrade a character to be if you're an independent character, to be a berserker for 20 points. And you gain the Ravening Madman characteristic and increase your attack characteristics by 1. So basically, are you getting the nails? If you get the nails, then, well, you're going to be crazy. So if you are a Ravening Madman, any to wound rolls in the assault phase that attack a unit composed completely of Ravening Madmen are -1 strength when rolling to wound. It doesn't affect their strength for instant death or stuff like that, though. Additionally, any to hit rolls that target Ravening Madmen always count the majority weapon skill of the unit as being 3, regardless of its actual weapon skill. So basically, you're so totally uncaring of your own safety that it's easier to hit you, but you're -1 to the strength for wounding you. Interesting trade-off. A unit that includes this model may only be joined by models with the same special rule or the Primarch Angron. And models with special rule may not join other units, obviously. Because you're crazy. So the crazies, hang out with the crazies. They're -1 strength when winning them in melee, but, oh sorry, is that, not just in melee actually. You're -1 strength when, oh no, in the assault phase. Okay, it is in the assault phase, never mind, not just shooting. I couldn't see if it said in melee or not, but it's right at the beginning. And then Savage Fervor, anyone with a chainsword, and the World Leader's keyword can exchange it for a chain axe. So all your guys with chainswords can have chain axes, all your standard assault squads and stuff. And then Kadere weapons, these are the Cyber Automatic Gladiator weapons. You can choose one of those types if you're armed with one. So a Meteor Hammer is +2 strength AP4. It's melee, two-handed, reach 1, and breaching 5+, so 5 to wound is AP2. It's +1 initiative, and then of course two-handed. An Exoriator Chain Axe, +2 strength AP3. Melee, two-handed, shred, murder, strike 5+, so instant death and unwieldy. A Phalanx Blade, model that upgrades a chainsword to a Phalanx Blade replaces their chainsword with 2 Phalanx Blades. +1 strength AP5, melee specialist weapons, you get an extra attack from 2 Phalanx Blades. Rending 4+, and Duelist's Edge, so plus initiative in a challenge. And a Barbed Hook Lash User strength, AP 5, melee 2-handed, fleshbane for 2+ to wound, reach 1, and rending 5+. So plus initiative and AP 2 when they rolled a hit of 5+. Well, that's all your special gear. Notice the, the preference of both murder and melee. And we're into Angron, the undefeated. He's 450 points. Weapon skill 8, bliss skill 5. Kind of deceptively core stats otherwise. All 6s across the board for strength, toughness, wounds, initiative, and attacks. Leadership 10 and a 2+ save. He's got the Armor of Mars, super simple, 2+ armor save, 4+ invulnerable save. He's not taking very good care of it, so it doesn't do anything special. The Spite Furnace is his pistol. It's a plasma weapon, 12-inch range, strength 7, AP 2. Pistol 2 gets hot and master crafted. He's got the Butcher's Nails, of course, makes him crazy. That means that he gets angrier every turn. At the start of every turn, after the first, he gets +1 attack to a maximum of 10. However, any hit rolls made in the assault phase targeting him always count the majority weapon skill of the target unit as 3, regardless of the actual weapon skill. So, and if he joins the unit, he causes that to the unit as well, which is not great. He has Gorefather and Gorechild as 2 chain axes, +1 strength, AP 2. They are melee, specialist, armor bane, murderous strike 3+, and shred. So he will wreck vehicles with 2d6 armor penetration. Murderous strike 3+ means he causes loss, instant death, and shred means he rerolls his to wound rolls. He's got frag grenades, so he can get through some cover. And then he's the Master of the Legion. He's got the Sire of the World Eaters rule. Red Sands. In any turn, Angron makes any challenges. Sorry. In any given turn, Angron may make as many challenges as there are enemy models with the character subtype or Primarch unit type locked in combat with him, up to his current number of attacks. Pull out all the challengers and fight them in an order decided by Angron's controlling player until the challenger part of the fight substep is over. And save that any enemy models with the Primarch unit type to be fought first. Angron must divide his attacks between them and must assign at least 1 attack to each challenge he fights in. All models challenged by Angron and Angron himself count as being in a challenge and follow all the rules for challenges, and any models that are not removed as casualties in the challenge with Angron will either all until all are removed as casualties, or Angron is removed as a challenger. So basically, if he goes into like 5 characters, he fights them all at the same time. And he has to divide his attacks up between them. But remember, it also means he has Murderous Strike 3+ and instant death on all of his attacks. So he's gonna have 7 attacks base. Every turn he gets more of them, and he just fights challengers over and over again. So it's pretty terrifying. Add to that the fact that he's got Hatred everything. He rerolls against everybody. And his Rampage 2 and Furious Charge 2 means when he's outnumbered, he gets +2 attacks and +2 attacks on the charge. He is absolutely horrifying to fight characters with. So again, really easy to hit back if you live, but he's gonna mess up all the characters you send after him. Elite choices are Red Butchers. They're basically elite versions of the Rampager squad. Weapon skill 5, 2 wounds, 2 attacks base. They have 2 power axes and Cataphractii Terminator armor. So these are big, heavy Terminators. Relentless Ravening Madmen, which means that they get that -2 to wound, but they're also + to hit, or weapon skill 3 to hit. They're fearless and they hate everything. They're just Cataphractii with the Butcher's Nails. You can take 5 more Red Butchers for 45 points each. They can swap their power axes for Power Fists, or the Devoured can do it. You can take 2 Lightning Claws instead of your power axes. You can replace 1 power axe for a Kami Bolter, not that you would. And then you can also exchange on your character his power weapons for minor Magna Combi weapons, a Power Fist, Chain Fist, or Thunder Hammer. And you can take a Grenade Harness too. Your Rampager squad, they have Furious Charge 1, Chosen Warriors, they can shoot challenges, and Stubborn, not quite fearless. They each have 1 Kadiri weapon or 2 Phalanx Blades, Bolt Pistol, Frag and Crack Grenades. They're your Gladiator guys. They can be given Proteus Land Raiders. And if there's 10 or less models, they can also have Legion Warhawk jump packs, or take a Land Raider Proteus. And then yeah, the jump packs are pretty sweet. They cost 10 points per model, so it's going to up you to 185 base. You can get the Rampager Champion or Artificer Armor. And remember, these can be taken as troop choices in the Rite of War for both, I believe. Yeah, they can be. Sorry, they're troops in the Berserker Assault. They're just line. They gain line in Crimson Path. But yeah, that's a fast bunch of troop choices. And then your only other character, Karn the Bloody, known as Karn the Betrayer eventually, because he betrays Argyle Tau. It's so sad. We'll get there. Weapon skill 7, bliss skill 5, strength toughness 4, 3 wounds. He gets the nails and goes crazy. He's got the cutter because he doesn't have Gorechild yet, and it's a chain weapon. +1 strength, AP 3, melee, shred, rending 4+, and murderous strike 6+. Plasma pistol, frag and crack grenades, artificer armor, and iron halo. If Angron's not part of the army, you can exchange the cutter for Gorechild though, and you can take Angron's chain axe. He's relentless, independent character, Master Legion. He's Rampage 3, so if he's outnumbered, he gets 7 attacks. Precision Strike 4+, so all his force to hit can kill any model he likes in the unit. And he has Savage Assault. No enemy may declare a reaction against a charge made by a unit that includes Karn the Bloody, unless that unit's targeted by the charge includes a model with the Primarch unit type, because he's just too savage otherwise. In addition, an army with Karn the Bloody as the Warlord makes additional advance reaction during the opposing player's movement phase as long as Karn's not been removed as a casualty. So not an additional movement one, always in advance, because he's always moving forward. Karn is one of the most tragic characters actually later on in the Horus Heresy, and his friendship with Argyle Tau is a great bit of read written by, again, Aaron Dembski-Bowden. Color section, funnily enough, you'd think of the World Eaters as being red and gold like they are in the Warhammer 40k 9th edition sort of like timeline, but they start off in world colors, blue and white, with a bit of dash of green, but they get so covered in blood eventually that they become, you know, just what you see today. Dashes of red everywhere, and then their historical armoral is the Warhounds. That was their original call sign before they became the World Eaters, when they reunited with their Primarch. Love their symbol. It's changed a bit from the old school way where it actually had a world inside of it, but just that like kind of halo with the jaws is extremely cool. And there's Angron, poor boy, all messed up. Some cool red butchers. And I do think the chain axe, the Mark 6 stuff actually looks really good in World Eaters colors. You give them all the chain bayonets and they fit perfectly. Some Rampagers. Extremely cool, just covered in blood spatter, giving the 2 claws to the new Dreadnought. Love that. Actually, sorry, that is the forged one, I think, with the chest plate. But yeah, the shocking bits of red on white, I think, is amazing. And there's the Forge World Karn as well, prior to becoming the Karn we know with the big pauldrons on his head later on. So that's it. And like I said, it does what it says in the tin. If you want to play melee, if you want to run forward and hope everything works out, and have a bit of maybe support stuff coming in behind, wondering why the crazies are being so crazy, then I think the Worldies are for you. Don't be put off by the white paint scheme. I will say that contrast paint makes white a lot easier to paint than you think it is. You can do that Corax white primer and the apothecary white over top of it and get a great result. And then the blue is easy afterwards. Actually, contrast would be a real easy way to do these guys. Just spraying them all white, throwing the apothecary white down, putting a little bit of the maybe Talisar blue, or even just hand painting on the blues afterwards. And then just picking out details. They would not be as hard to paint as they would have been in the past, where it was just white prime in the line and hope it all works out. So I wouldn't be put off by it. I know, like much like with the white scars, white looks like it's hard to paint, but I think today the amount of life hacks there are in painting white will probably let you get away with it. And yeah, they'll be fun on the table. They won't have a lot of tactical versatility, but the units that you take will definitely do what's assigned to them probably when it comes to killing things. And you look great in white and red and blue on the tabletop, I think. So there we go. Next up is going to be, I believe, the Death Guard. Whoa! We're going from white and blue to white and green, and from fast and stabby to savage and stinky. And we'll see you for that one coming up next. Until then, I'm Ash. Have a good one. Hey there, I hope you enjoyed that video. There are tons of other games already recorded for you to watch. Click over to my channel page if you haven't already, and have a look through the dozens of playlists full of videos. I guarantee you'll discover a game you haven't seen played before. I put out new videos 7 days a week, and every day is themed to a different genre as I continue to explore the wider world of gaming. Of course, none of that's possible without you, the viewer, so click a like and subscribe if you'd like to stay on top of what's happening here daily. My 2 kids and I are massively grateful to be able to have the flexibility of this job so I can always maximize my time with them. If you want to support me continuing to put out this content, it's only possible because of my amazing backers on Patreon who support the studio, equipment, and model cost, as well as being how I make the bulk of my living. You can also help out by buying a t-shirt through Spreadshirt, a measuring gauge or widget from Death Ray Designs, or buying one of my games and supplements like Last Days, Gamma Wolves, and Blaster. As a way of showing my appreciation, patrons get early access to new games and supplements that I write throughout the course of the year. Huge thanks for watching, it really does help out, and happy gaming.